tackle the kinds of problems that communities in Cape Town and across the continent are facing, then you have to work in genuinely engaged ways. That is, you can't just assume that you know what the problem is that you're going to solve. You can't just assume that you've got the right methods and the right answers for dealing with them. You have to understand from the people, the beneficiaries of the research themselves, the communities themselves, what the problems are that need to be addressed. And you have to work in genuinely collaborative and co-creative ways to develop solutions for those problems. And to be prepared to be humble as a university-based researcher, to recognize that there are funds of knowledge in communities that are critical for not only understanding the problems, but also for solving them. And there are super examples at the University of Cape Town. It's been incredibly humbling to be working with my colleagues there who have enormous experience in this area. And I've learned a tremendous amount. And I'm pleased that I'm able to bring that back to some of that expertise back to Bristol as well, some of those approaches to share with my colleagues here, that we're able to work as fellows, in these kinds of equal and transformative ways with our partners at the University of Cape Town and in the communities that they serve. Through our case studies, what I hope that we've done is contributed new understanding of how a university such as the University of Cape Town or the University of Bristol can change our systems, the way that we conceive of research to support this kind of work and understand the value of the funds of knowledge that are held in our communities.